There's a hat worth more than a Dubai penthouse, $2.7 million. But the story doesn't end there. You've seen it in Hollywood. Whenever someone walks in to take control, there's a hat on his head. Whether it's The Godfather or a secret backroom deal, the hat isn't just worn. It's used. This wasn't fashion. It was the language of fear, and only the powerful understood it. This video is for those who can recognize the fingerprint of power in fashion. After this, you'll never see a hat as just a hat again. In the 1800s, a hat was a public status badge. During industrial Europe, when society ran on dress code economics, your hat didn't just decorate you, it encoded your class. Estimated usage? Over 60% of adult men in cities wore hats every single day. By the 1920s, the hat empire had reached its peak. Wearing a hat was as normal as carrying a phone today. According to official US data, in 1920, 95% of American men wore a hat daily. It became a cultural obligation. If your head was bare, people assumed you were either sick or a rebel. You've heard the name Napoleon Bonaparte, but what you may not know is that the hat he wore at the Battle of Waterloo wasn't just a fashion item, it was a mobile symbol of rule. That hat, the moment it appeared, sent a message across Europe. The decision has been made. Now comes the execution. 200 years later, that same hat was auctioned in 2014. The price? $2.4 million. Enough to buy a full apartment block in central Paris. But the real question isn't how much it sold for. It's who bought it. Nobody revealed their name. All we know is that it's now with a private French collector. And when that collector was asked, "Why did you buy it?" one sentence leaked: "Because some powers aren't worn on the head. They're hidden." The hat wasn't a designer's invention. It was a royal protocol. Take the chapeau d'amour, the world's most expensive hat. Price? $2.7 million. Enough to buy 2 luxury apartments in London. Designed by Louis Mariette. Covered in diamonds, crowned with feathers. Worn once by Alicia Witt in 2004. Then disappeared. Now believed to be locked in the vault of a Gulf billionaire. In ancient Egypt, 3200 BC, the first formal hat, the names, could only be worn by the pharaoh. Law stated, if a commoner wore it, it was blasphemy, punishable by death, because it wasn't a hat. It was divine representation. In Rome, 27 BC, the laurel crown was only for victorious generals, if anyone wore it without winning a war. It was called Imperium Fraud, and they were labeled enemies of the state. In China's Ming Dynasty, each government official had a specific hat. By law, black meant low rank, blue meant advisor, gold dragon, only the emperor. If a lower official wore a higher rank hat, it was considered an insult to the throne, punishable by whipping or exile. In the Ottoman Empire, the sarık was reserved for sultans and elite viziers. Religious scholars had issued a fatwa. Whoever wears the sarık without authority commits hypocrisy and deserves punishment. In short, a hat was never a choice. It was your public ID. And every ID came with its own law, its own punishment, and its own range of power. That bowler hat, it wasn't just British fashion. It was Britain's first portable intelligence hub. World War II, 1942. Winston Churchill entered a secret underground war room in London, wearing his iconic hat. That day, hidden inside it, was a covert radio transmitter, a technology available only to MI6 and ultra codebreakers. And Churchill didn't keep it in his bag. He kept it on his head. Why? If enemies breached the war room, he could send a signal from his hat. To activate spy units or trigger evacuation, he wore that hat at the Normandy invasion. And at his meetings with Stalin. And it was never just for style. It was surveillance, disguised as elegance. Declassified war records show the radio inside his hat had a 4.2 6-cylinder diameter. Broadcast range, around 2 miles. Battery life, 90 minutes of active signal. But in the 1950s, the hat began to collapse. 3 strikes took it down. 1. Car culture. Convertibles blew the hat away. It lost practicality. 2. The Eisenhower effect. In 1953, the US president took his oath of office hatless. News reports said, "A president without a hat. A new era begins." 3. Hollywood rebellion. James Dean, Marlon Brando, no hats, no rules. The hat became a symbol of old man energy. The numbers fell fast. In 1955, about 70% of American men wore hats. By 1975, only 25%. By 2000, less than 5%. Today in the 2020s, the hat has returned. But not as practicality. Now it's a statement, not a status. Modern usage, Less than 4% of men wear them daily. Elite usage? Billionaires, mafia, royal ceremonies only. Gen Z? Statement hats, nostalgia caps, rising fast. The hat disappeared. But authority didn't. It just hid. In an age where power avoids visibility, what you can see is rarely the one in charge. If the elite still wear symbols, the question isn't, what do they wear? It's, what are we no longer allowed to see? In the next video, we'll uncover the one fashion item that's criminal to own and dangerous not to. Today, no one wears a hat, but still every head is bowed.